Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jasmine Brooks inside the Control Center live with you. This is 21 Next and a special edition. Tonight, Candace Scalise joins me, and Candace today talked to Officer Andrew Duarte's girlfriend. Her name is Xana Dutton. And Candace, thanks so much for joining me right now. What did Xana have to say to you today?
Yeah, Jasmine, we just talked about the man she loved. We started out asking how they met, and they met like so many of us nowadays on a dating app, right? And it sounds like, well, they hit it off after they met. She laughed and said she ghosted him a few times. And then once they finally met, she was like, wow, this guy's pretty incredible. She talked about how caring he was, how he would just sit and listen to her, and how detail oriented he was. And she was just telling me, not a lot of people are like that. Not a lot of people will just sit and listen to what you have to say and really care. She said that people who he loved wholeheartedly, and he loved so well. And she said he'd probably be pretty overwhelmed with all the publicity that he's been getting right now because he was a pretty private person, but she just really valued quality time with him. And she said they did a lot of everything together, from going to the dentist office together just so they could spend time together with their busy schedules. And she said the morning that he left on Saturday, he rushed out the door, he gave her a kiss and said goodbye.
And Candace, you have been reporting on this since Saturday. Tell us what you learned, about what happened to him.
So when she and I talked, she actually showed me a photo that he sent her. It was a Snapchat photo that he sent her at 10:41 Saturday morning. And that's the photo that you're looking at right there. You can see he's wearing his police body camera. He worked for the West York Police Department. You can see his hat on right there with the logo with the dog on it. So he sent that to her through Snapchat. And probably a few minutes later, he was running inside UPMC Hospital where a hostage situation was underway. So she said initially she didn't think that he would be responding to the hospital. It wasn't in his township, in his jurisdiction. And then she got to thinking, the more she read, the more she heard about what was going on inside, she realized that he was probably responding. And if that was the case, that he was probably one of the officers inside. And she said it does not surprise her that he ran into danger, that he ran to protect people's lives. But she didn't think that he wasn't going to come home. And I think that was the hardest part.
Who told her what had happened?
I did ask her that as we were just talking about how she learned about everything. It looks like she was just learning through social media and everything that was going on. She realized that she couldn't get in touch with him. And then eventually she found out that her boyfriend had died in that shooting, that he was the officer who had been killed. And she was looking forward to calling him on the way home from work that day and, spending the afternoon with him. They had just celebrated his birthday a week earlier when he turned 30. And so they were spending a lot of time together. And she just never expected, even in his line of work, she said he was so cautious. He always wore his bulletproof vest, even when he was inside the police station. Like, he was so smart about his job. She just never expected that he wouldn't come home.
Candace, you spoke with Officer Duarte's mother and now his girlfriend as a journalist. What was that experience like for you?
It was really intense, Jasmine. It was an honor to be able to sit down with these people. They're sharing the person that they love the most in their life with me and with us. And so I asked them, why were you willing to talk about him? Why were you willing to let us into your personal life? And they both told me that he was such a wonderful, wonderful man that they don't want to just keep him to themselves. And I think the outpouring of support that we've seen online at the memorial, with comments on Facebook and Twitter, everybody just recognizing who he was. I mean, just look at his smile, right? You can just tell he's a sweet guy, but also one that was extremely courageous. And so they just want the world to know how amazing he was, and they don't want to just keep him to themselves. So it's been really an honor just to sit down and to cry with them and to hug them and just to be part of their world while they're going through probably the toughest time that they'll ever experience in their lives.
And officers were called to the hospital in York at 10:46 on Saturday, and that Snapchat selfie was sent to Xana just less than 10 minutes earlier.
Yeah, it was. It was the last photo that she was ever going to get from him. And they snapped throughout the day. And he also snapped his mom a lot. They would send Snapchat photos, and his mom told me they would have like Fitbit competitions to see who could get the most steps in, and she said he would always beat her. And so I think the stark reality that was the last photo she's ever gonna get. Thank goodness she has it, but at the same time, you know, it was just really tragic. She told me that morning he usually sets his alarm for 4 a.m. so that he can lay in bed and just cuddle with her for an hour before he has to go to work. And she said that he set his alarm, slept through it, so he got up and rushed out, and then texted her later and said, I wish I'd gotten to spend more time with you this morning. So it sounds like they just had this really loving relationship, and he truly cared deeply for her. And it sounds like he cared that way about his fellow officers. He ran into danger head on to protect the UPMC staff and the hostages and to battle evil.
Well, Candace, thank you so much for talking with us. We look forward to your story tonight and hearing more from Xana's perspective, the girlfriend of Officer Andrew Duarte. Candace Scalise, thank you.
Thanks, Jasmine.
I'm Jasmine Brooks. This has been 21 Next. Thank you for watching.